This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Prathamesh, please go on mute, and you can unmute if you have any question. You can unmute.
Sure, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, so I think let's start now. So today is going to our first session, so we are going to start our discussion on this SAP Ariba. So in today's session, first we'll discuss about some basics of the Ariba, how basically we can log in the SAP Ariba and how we can navigate our Ariba dashboard. That's something we'll discuss. And then we'll start our Ariba solutions discussion, like whatever solutions the Ariba they are basically offering. So we'll talk on that Ariba solutions as well. So let's talk about first basically Ariba. So even in the previous session, in the demo session, we talked about like Ariba basics of the Ariba, like what is basically SAP Ariba and whatever different solutions the Ariba is basically offering. So as we discussed in the previous session, like Ariba solutions are basically divided in the two parts. So one is called as upstream, and second is called as downstream. So basically upstream is it's not a kind of like solutions, or we can say module. So upstream is kind of like we can say bundle of the solutions. So inside that upstream, we have three modules. So one is supplier, second is sourcing, and third is the contract. And in downstream, basically, we have the two modules. One is Ariba P2P. So Ariba P2P is also called as Ariba Buying and Invoicing. And second is the catalog. So these are the modules are available as part of the SAP Ariba, and like customer can utilize these solutions in their sourcing and procurement activities. So if they want to work on this source determination, in that case as well, they can utilize the SAP Ariba solutions, and also they can utilize the solutions to perform the procurement activities. So we'll talk about like how basically they can utilize and whatever the different activities that customer they have to basically perform whenever they have to use the particular solutions. So before that, let's talk about some basics of the Ariba. So whenever we log in the SAP Ariba, so our dashboard will looks like this. So Ariba is basically offering the different kind of authentication. So whatever the authentication that your customer they are following, so we can use any of the authentication to log in the SAP Ariba. So one authentication basically we can use user ID based login. So we have to execute the particular credential. So this is basically link we have to like execute, and once you execute, then system will ask you to enter this user ID and the password, and we have to basically enter that user ID and the password. And once you log in, then system will verify your credential, and if your credential looks good or that means it's correct, so system will allow you to log in. So once we log in successfully in the system, then system will show you this dashboard. So this is called as Ariba dashboard. So in this Ariba dashboard, as we, in the first we can see we have the different tab here, like we can see home, contract, supplier management, and more. If you click on this more, here you will able to see the different tab itself, different option itself. Like we can see we have the invoicing, procurement, suppliers, catalog, product sourcing, supplier management. So different options are available here. So whatever options that basically we can see here, so these options are depends on the license, so whatever license that your customer they have, so based on the license you will able to see that particular options here. So based on this option as well, we can easily identify like whatever solutions or whatever subscription the customer they have. So let's say, for example, you get a chance to work on any Ariba support project, or you are going to implement on this any Ariba implementation project. So how basically we can find out like whatever solutions or whatever module license customer they have. So we can basically that find out with the help of this tab itself. So though we require the full authorization to see this tab, so might be in some cases like if you have this limited access, so in that case as well, you will not be able to see all the options here. But let's say you have the full access. So generally, Ariba consultant, they will have the full access in this Ariba test site. So if you have the full access and you can see the different tab here. So based on this, you can easily identify like whatever module that is basically implemented with this customer. So for example, we can see we have the sourcing here. So sourcing in the sense that means this customer has the Ariba sourcing module license. We can see we have the contract as well. That means this customer also have the contract module license. We can see we have the supply, like invoicing, procurement as well. That means customer they have the K2P module license, and also we can see about the supplier. So since we can see supplier management tab itself, that means this customer have the supplier license. So based on this, like these different tabs, we can easily identify like whatever the license the customer they have. So in general, we can say this like a different tab is representing the license of this module or license of the solutions, like whatever license the customer they have subscribed. Okay. Apart from that, if you come downside here, so in the downside we can see we have the search bar option, and here basically we can search any of the particular document. So whatever the particular document you want to basically search, we can search from this like search bar. So here, if you want to search any of the particular document, so we have to basically select any of the particular options here. So like we can see many more options are available here. So whatever particular like the document you want to search, let's say for example, if you want to search the contract, we can basically select here the contract object. Or if you want to search any of the like sourcing project, we can select here sourcing project object here. Or if you want to search any requisition, we can select here the requisition object here. So whatever the particular document you want to basically search, we can search from here. So Ariba is basically offering the 360-degree view to the customer. That means if you want to navigate to any of this information from a single stream, that basically we can do. So how basically we can do, let's see. So now let's say for example, I want to see some list of requisition. So we have to basically select here the requisition object here. Then if you have the information about the title, you can enter the title here. Or if you have the information about the requisition ID, you can enter the requisition ID here. So once you provide this information here, then basically we have to click on the search. So might be in some cases you may have the information or you may not have. So nothing to worry. We can simply come here and click on the search button. And once we click on the search button, then system will like show you some different filter criteria. So that means like system will give you this screen. Now here we can see we have the different filter criteria screen. So here as well, we have some different options which basically we can utilize to find out the particular document. Like let's say I want to search a document based on the date created. So might be we have created by today's date or yesterday date, right? Or last week, this week, whatever. You can search the document based on this particular parameter, or you have some specific like the custom date range, you can search based on that as well. Or in some cases you want to search based on the requester name or based on the status, like what is the status of the document. You can set any of the particular status and you can search the particular document. So we have to basically provide any of this input information here, and once you provide the input information, then we have to click on the search. So once we hit on the search button, the system will show you that list of the particular document here. So one thing we can see here, so here system is not only showing you the list of documents. So you also have the option, like if you want to deep dive in any of the particular document, you can deep dive. So let's say for example, we can see in this output result, we have some list of PR, and I want to check the more information about the PR. So in that case, what basically we have to do, we have to come here and we can click on any of the PR. And once we click on this any of this PR, then system will like show you the insert information about the PR. Now we can see we have the different information are available here. That means we are basically available in the PR, and we can like work on like basically we can do whatever activity you want to basically perform with this document. So this is something called as this like 360-degree view. That means from a single document, like if you want to see some other information as well, you can see by staying in the same document. Okay. So this option basically is called as a search document. Okay, but now let's take a quick break. So before going further, is there any question? Am I clear to everyone?
Is that ID is a purchase requisition number or PO number? What is that? ID, title, and all are there, right? Down.
You can see.
Still down. No, down.
Right?
Still down. I mean, you can scroll down. Here, what are these? Type, ID, title, and receiving and composing these details. What are these? I mean, PR 2064 is a purchase requisition number.
Yes, PR number. Right?
Okay, fine.
Okay. Any further question?
Oh, okay, that's it.
Okay, so now apart from this, if you go back to that home page, so we have some other option as well in the home page. So now basically in this home page, in the downside, like if you come to downside, so here basically we can see we have the different tiles here. So Ariba is also offering this flexibility to the customer. Like Ariba has given some predefined list of the tiles, and if customer or any of the business user they want to add and the particular tiles in that their home page, they can basically add those tiles in their home page. So tiles are basically providing the quick information to that to the customer. So let's say for example, I am acting as the contract manager. I'm responsible to review all the contracts and to approve all the contracts, right? So in that case, basically, whenever I will start my office, so what I will do first, I will check like how many documents are pending for the approval and how many documents that is basically pending for the review, right? So those information I would like to see. So if you see, so this information or this activity is called as a to-do task. That means I have to perform this task. So I want to see some information about the task, like how many tasks basically I need to complete, how many tasks is pending in my bucket, how many tasks is going to escalate, or approaching for the escalation. That's something information I would like to see in the quick class. So how basically we can see? So for that, Ariba has given the different tiles here. So all our tiles are basically predefined tiles. So if you want to see that any quick information, we can basically add the tiles in our home page and we can see the information. So here basically we can see we have the different tiles here. Like we can see sourcing project tiles, to do tiles, and my contract request tile. So these are the different tiles that are available here. So apart from that, if you want to add any of the further tiles, we can basically add any further tiles as well. So how basically we can manage the tiles? To manage the tiles, we have to come to particular tiles, and we can see in each and every tiles we have this like options here. So this is called as a drop down option.
Hello, I didn't hear you. Yeah, are these called tiles? Sourcing projects, to do my contracts, tiles,
Yes,
TILES. You're talking.
these are called as tiles. Yes.
No, I'm not able to hear. TILES, tiles, right?
Yes, tiles. Am I audible clearly to everyone?
Your voice is breaking.
A little bit it was going fast, I think. I have missed it. Whether it was type or tiles, I don't know. You're telling like in this, after this one, there are three things like when somebody logs in, what are the tasks he needs to execute for the day. For that, they will be creating tiles or tasks, I don't know, types. The sourcing projects, to do my contracts, there you were explaining. I missed something, I think. It was not that clear, I think, for me.
Am I breaking now or is it fine now?
It's clear now.
Can you? It's clear, right? Okay. These are called as the tiles. TILES, tiles.
TILES.
Yes, tiles. Got it?
I typed in the chat box.
Okay, so basically we have the different options to add these tiles here. So whatever tiles basically we can see, and user have the flexibility to add any of the tiles here. So whatever tiles basically if you want to add in your like dashboard, we can basically add in our dashboard. So how basically we can add this tiles in our dashboard? So we have to come here in this. So we can see in each and every tiles we have these options here, right? So we can see this icon. So this is called as a options, or in general this is called as a drop down options as well. So we have to basically click on this any of this drop down options here, and we have to click on this manage all tiles. So we can see we have the options here like manage all tiles, and we have to click on this manage all tiles. And once we click on this manage all tiles, system will give you this page. So like we can see we have this page, and here we can see like in left hand side we can see all the available tiles. So whatever the tiles that Ariba is basically offering as predefined tiles, so we can see some list of tiles are available here in the left hand side, and in the right hand side we can see some list of the selected tiles. So that means whatever tiles that we have added in our dashboard, those tiles we can see here, right? So we have the flexibility here. We can basically add or remove any of the particular tiles from our dashboard. So how basically we can remove? So if you want to remove any of the tiles from your dashboard, we can see we have the options of the remove here. So we have to click on this remove button if you want to remove any of the tiles. So we can basically remove. Or in some cases, if you want to add any of the tiles, we can basically add. So in the left hand side, we can see we have the option adjust select. Right. So we have to basically click on the select here, and once you click on the select in any of the tiles, so these tiles will be added to your dashboard. So for example, let's say I want to add one tiles of this event status. So what I have to do, I have to click on this select. So once we click on the select here, then these tiles will be added to your list here. And if you go to home page now, then these tiles will be added in your home page. Okay. So basically in these tiles, we have some one question from the certification perspective. So if you are basically preparing for the certification, so in the P2P certification, like one question is there, how many tiles a user can add on their dashboard? That means how many tiles, or we can basically add in our home page. So to find out the answers, we can see in the downside, we have this option, maximum 5 tiles per dashboard we can, right? So that is the limit that Ariba has given. So we can add maximum 5 tiles in our dashboard. So we can't add more than the 5 tiles in our dashboard. So maximum we can add 5 tiles in our dashboard. Okay. So for example, if you see here, so as of now we can see we have added the 4 tiles here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But here, if you come here in the left hand side, so we can see basically we have the option to select this tiles here. So what basically we can do, we can click on the select. That means we can add one more tiles here. So you can come here and you can click on the select here. So now basically we can see how many tiles we have added in our dashboard. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So now once we add these 5 tiles here, and now we can see all these options are disabled, right? So we can't add further tiles here. That means we can maximum add only the 5 tiles. So in one dashboard, we can add only 5 tiles. So this is something that important from the certification point of view. So if you are preparing for certification, so this will help you to find out the answers. Okay. So now in the next, we have to add any of the tiles here, and then we have to click on this done. And once we click on this done, then these tiles will be available in your dashboard, and you will be able to see that information. So like here we can see now we have the 5 tiles here. So like that we are basically managing our tiles. So whatever tiles you want to add or whatever tiles you want to remove, so that flexibility user will have, and user can manage the tiles on their dashboard. All right. Are you guys able to follow me?
Yes, but one small clarification here. You are telling like any tasks to be executed by the person, those will be listed here. Like where are the tasks to be done listed here in my contract, any contract to be approved or something? Oh, you mean to say to do tasks, correct?
Yes. You are right.
Yeah, in this sourcing projects, what are these numbers? 182, 75, 6. I mean,
Basically, these are the information about the sourcing project. So if you see in each and every tiles, so each and every tiles are representing the different information, right? So if you come here in the sourcing project, so basically how many sourcing project is basically you can see here, or even if you click on this tiles as well, so it will give you more information about this particular information. So in this case, if you see for this tiles like sourcing project tile, so we can see we have some options here, how many each sourcing project is active, how many sourcing project is created completed, right? So that's something information basically we can find out with the help of this tiles. So if you come here, you will able to see the particular information here. Okay, these are Praveen, these are the things of your hands on. This is something not a very the thing like we can say a kind of tricky things, or we can say tough thing. This is your hands on.
okay. So basically, they are creating some sourcing.
You have to basically play with the system. You will easily understand what this information.
Okay.
Okay. So overall, like in general, we can say this tiles is not representing the only information. Like we can say basically some summary of the information, or we can say some reports, something like that. So these tiles basically is also allowing you to deep dive in the particular information. So let's say, for example, if you talk about like to do task here, so we can see some of the information here. So here we can see how many tasks is escalated, how many tasks basically escalation is like approaching, how many tasks is basically in warning status, how many tasks is basically new. That's some of the information we can see here, right? But if you want to deep dive here, so what we can do, we can click on these tiles. So here basically we have to click on this particular option, and once you click here, then system will navigate you to the inside and you will able to see the more information. So now here we can see how many escalated 116, how many escalation approaching 6, and how many tasks are new, we can see only 1, and how many warning approaching, that is the 2. So that's something information we can see here. And as a business user, as per this information, I have to take the action. So whatever action is applicable, that's something I have to take. Okay. Got it? What about you, Bharat, Deepak? That means, are you able to follow me?
Yes, yes,
Good.
Rohit, I'm able to follow you.
Yeah, even I'm
Bharat,
able to follow.
that's good. Deepak, I think Deepak, you are not audible. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So apart from this, if you navigate to the right hand side, so in the right hand side we have some options about the create, manage, and the resend. So basically, if you click on this create drop down, and here you will able to see the create option. So whatever the particular document you want to basically create. So for example, if you want to create sourcing project, we have to navigate to the create menu, and from here we have to select sourcing project option. Or in some cases, if you want to create the contract, so in that case, we have to come in the create menu, and from here you can see we have the option of the contract. Or if you want to create a requisition, we can basically find out requisition option here as well. So whatever the different document that basically we have to create as part of our day-to-day activity, so we have to basically navigate to the create menu here. So when you come here in the create menu, so you will able to find out the particular information here, and whatever particular document you want to basically create, we can create with the help of the create menu. Now in the next, basically, if you go to manage menu, so manage menu is providing the option, to set up our system. So whenever we have to perform any particular configuration, like for example, let's say we have to configure the approval workflow, or we have to perform the configuration in upstream solutions or in downstream solutions, or we have to configure the template. So basically, overall, in this, with the help of the manage menu, we can find out our configuration node, and we can basically perform the particular configuration with the help of this configuration node. So generally, in the real time, we have to navigate to the manage menu, like to perform any of the particular configuration. So whatever option basically we can see here, this is something depends on the authorization. So if you have the full authorization, you can see the many information here, like many more options are available here. And in some cases, if you have some limited authorization, so in that case you may see some less options as well. So whatever options are available here, so with the help of that option, we have to basically perform our that basically configuration activity. Now, apart from that, in the last, we have this recent menu. So basically in the recent option, basically we can see some list of the recently viewed document. So whatever the document that you seen that recently, that something documents option will be available here. So for example, earlier we opened one purchase requisition. Now we can see that purchase requisition is available here. So these options are basically available just to we can quickly navigate to that particular document. So might be earlier we have created the contract, and I would like to open that contract here. So we can quickly come in the recent menu and we can find out the contract. Or might be you work on that other document earlier, and the document you want to find out quickly. We can come here in the recent menu and we can find out the particular document. So we can basically see here some recent information like the recent document, whatever documents recently we work or we that we were working on the document. So that's something information we can find out with the help of the recent event. Okay. These are basically very basic. Just since today is our first session, so we're just talking about this option, and this is something again it depends on your hands-on. So if you once you play with the system, you will easily understand like whatever different options are available here. Okay. Now, apart from that, if you come downside, so here in the left hand side, we can see we have same options are available here, like whatever we discussed in the create, manage, and the resend. So we can see we have same options are available here. So here as well, you will able to see the same option. So even you can navigate from here, like under this common action that you can do, or if you want to navigate from the create menu or manage menu, that's something also you can do. It's up to your choice. So how you want to navigate, that's something your choice, your call. You can navigate to that particular option. Okay. Now in the last, basically, if you come downside, so we can see we have different other options as well. Like we can see news, source request, my document, to do, notification, calendar. These are basically called as the content. So all these contents, whatever we can see, these are the contents are the predefined content. So Ariba has given some list of the content as a predefined, and whatever content information that you want to display in your home page, you have the flexibility. You can add any of the content here. So it depends on your choice. Whatever content you want to display in your home page, we can basically add here, and we can see that content information. So how basically we can manage the content? It's up so whatever content you want to show in your dashboard, or whatever content you want to hide from your dashboard, that we can do. How we can do for that? We have to come to the in top, and here we can see we have this setting icon, right? This range icon. So we have to click on this range icon, and from here we have the options here like add in the content. So when we come here in the add content, so if you click on this option, system will display you the list of content here. So whatever content Ariba has given as a standard, those contents will be available here. So we can see right now we can see only few list of the content here. Why? Because whatever content will actually utilize or we use, those content will not be available here. So like we can see, we have some different content like RSS, SCP, portlet, feeds, chart or table, folder, summarize view. So different options are available here, right? Now what will happen once you use any of this content? So later that content will not be available here in this list because we have already consumed, right? So if you want to add any of the content here, so we have to basically use drag and drop option. So it's up to you, whatever content is suitable for you as per your requirement, you can use any of the content. Okay, so how basically we have to use? So we have to pick any of the content here. Like let's say for example, I'm going to pick this goods content. So we have to basically pick this content and we have to drop in anywhere. So wherever we have the space or based on this dashboard design, system is asking you to drop here, right? And wherever you want to drop, you can basically drop here. And once you drop in the particular location, then that content will be added to your dashboard, and that particular content will not be available in this list. Why? Because we have already consumed. So like that, we can basically choose any of the particular content, whatever is suitable for you. So like this, we can add any of the content in our dashboard. And apart from that, if you want to remove any of the content from your dashboard, we can come here. And each and every content, you will have this options like this icon. So we have to basically click on this options icon. And once you come here, and you can see we have this option, minimize or delete this item. So if you want to remove from your dashboard, we can come here and we have to click on this delete this item. And once you click here, then system will automatically remove this content from the dashboard, and it will be again available in your list. So this is totally like this. Sorry. So this is something different options are available to the business user, and it's completely depends on the business user like how they want to basically design their dashboard. So they can come here and they can design their dashboard. So these are the very basic options that is available, like in this Ariba dashboard, and it's completely depends on the user how they want to design the dashboard. All right. So now in the last, basically we have one more options are available. If you come here, so in the right hand side in the corner we can see we have the user icon, right? So for whatever users, like you log in the SAP Ariba, that user like information you will able to see. And when you click on this, like this user option here, system will give you the different options here. So generally in the real time, from the business user point of view, they will not have this much option. They will have basically limited option. And since we have the access of this configuration part, so we can see we have many more options are available here. But here, two things are very important. So one is basically the theme. So Ariba is basically offering the two different type of theme. So this is something important from certification point of view. These are the basic questions that you may get during certification, like whatever different types of themes Ariba is basically offering. So if you want to change your theme, you can basically change your theme. And apart from this, one more important thing is that about your profile. So basically, we are not doing any activity with this, like change your profile here. But just to show you one information, I'm trying to navigate to this option. Like this is something little bit important. So what happened, like when you come here and if you click on this change your profile, you will able to see some information here. So like here we can see. So in this here basically we can see we have the different tab, like we can say step basically. So these are the different step, like we can see personal info, account shape, justify changes, approval flow, review changes. So different options are available here. But nothing to do in this case, only we have to come to the account and sheet tab, and here we can see we have some informations are available here. So like here we can see we have the SAP plant, company code, purchasing org, purchasing group, GL account, cost center, even purchasing unit is also available, delivery address and deliver to. So these are the different options are available here. So what happens whenever we are creating any of this Ariba user ID? So in that case, we have to specify this information to all, or we can say to every user. So whenever we have to do user setup in the SAP Ariba, how to do the setup, that's something we'll discuss in the coming session. But whenever we have to do setup, so we have to specify this information by default. So based on this, what is happening whenever any user, they are basically creating a requisition, so this information automatically get default, right? So this is one, like that mechanism that is available in the SAP Ariba, and with the help of this, like system determine that accounting information automatically in the SAP Ariba. Okay, I'm just showing you only for your information purpose for now. In the coming session, we will talk about in detail level, like how basically we have to set up and what is the main purpose of this setup. That's something we will see in the coming session. Okay. All right. So like that, these are the different information are available to that our dashboard, and whatever options that something is applicable for you, or whatever information that something like suitable for you. So we have the flexibility, we can see, or we can basically design our dashboard and we can see the particular information in our dashboard. All right, so that's it about this Ariba dashboard navigation. Any question from anyone?
Yeah, just like tiles, what are these contract and supplier management and more option is there, right? What are those called? What are those called? I mean, whatever access privileges we have, right? Contract, supplier management, and there is one more button here.
These are called as the tiles. Sorry, these are called as the tabs.
Tabs.
So we have different tabs. So
Tabs.
if you come here, basically you will able to see the different other tabs.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further question from anyone?
Hello, sir. Am I audible to you? Hello.
Yes, Deepak. Now you're audible.
Yes, sir. At that time, I also want to ask from you about the tiles. So the tiles which you have add during with that option. So, sir, basically, what I want to ask, what are the usage of these tiles? Might I think what I understand that these tiles might be used for, sir, it's a kind of transparency which I we can see easily our purchase order and whatever the event we are doing in the Ariba, that we can
Mhm.
easily see on the on our main theme.
Mhm.
It's a kind of like that, sir, as I am
Okay, let
understanding,
me
sir.
give you a very simple example just to understand that usage of the tiles. If you see, so whenever we are, if you take, we can take the example of our smartphone. So whenever we are getting any message, like we are getting some WhatsApp messages, or we are getting some text messages, right? And we are getting some notification on this our home page. Like if you see your smartphone, we are getting some notification, like you receive two messages, three messages, something like that, right? So what we can do sometimes, like let's say we are basically very busy, or we are in the meeting, we are unable to that reply that messages. But at least with the help of the notification, we can see quick information, like how many messages we received, or might be you received the message from any particular one contact. So at least you can see the information about the contact, like that person, he sent me some message to me, right? That information we can see quickly. So same thing, same thing applicable here as well. So with the help of the tiles, you can see some quick information. Like for example, let's say now we have one question, like let's assume that how many sourcing project you have basically created in your system. I want to see this information. Now let's say I'm basically acting as a sourcing manager or sourcing agent, and I would like to see the information, like how many sourcing project is created in my system, and how many sourcing projects are in active status, how many sourcing projects are completed status. So that's something information I want to see. So what I can do, I can come here and I can quickly see here. You can see this task, right? It is showing you 182 is basically active, 75 is completed, and 6 is basically something cancelled. So that's something information we can quickly find. Got it? Not it.
Are there
Yes, sir.
any important like basic this one they will be asking in interviews? Because as per
Uh,
your description, I could
these are
see.
these are basically not the very when they are not important. This is something very basic thing. No one will ask you during interview this question. This is something just a very basic. Once
Okay.
you start playing with the system, once you start the playing
Hmm.
with the system, it will be very easy for you to understand. Right.
Okay.
And
Thank
sir,
you.
one more thing, like sir, these softwares are just like sir, the software which we are using in our daily use, like Tally, Busy, right, sir? Like
You
sir,
can
what
say
I
like that. Yes, yes, yes. You can say like that. Yes.
because sir, yesterday I had seen one of my friend is using that software like Busy for their procurement purpose. He had started his business, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to understand that the things which you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that software SAP Ariba is totally new for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any further question from
Uh,
anyone before going to start the
and
next topic?
Rohit ji,
Mhm.
Gokul this side.
Hello.
Will you be creating and showing us any sourcing project in the upcoming sessions? Or how is it
Definitely,
going
yes.
on?
Will do.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Okay. So now basically in the next we'll start Ariba solutions discussion. So basically as per our discussion as a like we discussed about the course curriculum in the previous session. So now basically we'll start discussion about like basically upstream and downstream first. So first we'll talk about like Ariba upstream part. So as we discussed in previous session, like in upstream basically we have the module of the supplier, and we have the sourcing, and we have the contract. So let me do one thing. Let me again quickly open my course curriculum just to show you once again. Give me just one moment.
Sir, sir, I want to ask something, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, it's a first lecture, or you had done already a previous class also, like
No, this is
as
the
you
first
said
one.
you had done.
We discussed about in some demo. We have some demo session in previous.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, this is the first session. Okay, so basically, so in the first, we are going to talk about our supplier solutions, and in that one, we'll talk about that SLP solutions, and we'll talk about different process, like whatever different process that basically we have to perform, like as part of the SLP. That's something we'll discuss. And let me quickly recap again the course structure as well, so that you people should not have any questions, like whatever things we are going to discuss or whatever topic is out of scope, because we have to very clear what things, what activity basically we are going to discuss, or whatever things are out of scope. So what we'll do basically, first we will discuss. So this overall, this course is divided in the two parts. One basically, like we can, I would say 50% of the part is from the business user point of view, and 50% part is basically from the consultant point of view. So why we have designed some part of the business process point of view, or
Sorry,
we can say,
sorry. Hello, sorry. First one is business point of view. Second one, I didn't hear it.
oh,
Hello,
from Ariba consultant point of view.
consultant point of view. Okay.
Right. So here basically, so in the first, we'll see from business user point of view, like how and what basically we have to do from the business process point of view. So in that one, we'll talk about supplier solutions, we'll talk about Ariba sourcing solutions, we'll talk about Ariba contract solutions, we'll talk about contract compliance as well, and then we'll talk about Ariba P2P solutions, and we'll talk about the Ariba guided buying. So up to this topic, we will only discuss from the business user point of view, like how exactly that individual they have to perform this activity. Okay, so that means overall we'll try to understand first the business process, how the process is basically working in the Ariba system. So for example, if you talk about sourcing solutions, so we'll conduct one sourcing project, we'll create one sourcing project, and we'll invite some particular supplier, and we will see like whatever the information we have to provide from the buyer point of view, buyer means as a customer point of view, and how basically we have to send the invitation to supplier, how supplier they have to submit the responses against any sourcing event, how we have to evaluate supplier responses, how to perform the supplier awarding, right? Those information we'll discuss like an initial. So same way, if you talk about P2P solutions as well, so in that one as well, we'll talk about the whole one in P2P cycle. Like we'll create the purchase requisition, we'll talk about the purchase order, we'll talk about receipt, invoice reconciliation. So that's something we'll discuss from the business user point of view. So once we'll complete up to this this business process, that means our 50% journey will be completed, and then in the rest 50% part, we will talk about only system designing part, like configuration part, like how to configure our, how to integrate our SAP Ariba system with the SAP ERP. We'll talk about CIG as well, like whatever different configuration we have to do from CIG perspective. So that's something we'll discuss as part of the integration. Then we'll talk about the other configuration, like how to configure template, how to configure the approval workflow, how to perform site merge data upload in the Ariba, how to configure user, how to configure catalog, how to configure some other P2P configuration. So the different configuration, whatever is applicable for us. So as part of the SAP Ariba consultant, whatever configuration we have to do, that's something we'll discuss in the rest 50% of the part. So now the question is that why? Why first we have to understand the business process, then we have to basically perform the system design. Why? What is the reason? So reason is that like whenever you will get a chance to work in any Ariba implementation project, or if you see in any of the technology, not only in the SAP Ariba, so if you implement any of the Ariba solutions, sorry, if you implement any of the particular solutions to any customer, so as the first activity, what we are doing first, we have to first discuss with our customer just to understand their as is process. That means how your customer they are doing in their current solution. So whatever technology they are using currently, or whatever software they are using currently. So we have to first understand their business process, how they are doing in that particular technology. And based on that, we have to suggest some solutions to them. So based on that, we have to suggest some process to them, some different solutions to them, right? So we have to basically assist to our customer, and we have to provide our input as well. Like, okay, you are basically creating like peer like this in the different system, but when we come in the SAP Ariba, so we have to basically perform the you have to basically create the purchase request in the different way in the SAP Ariba. So what basically we are doing as part of the implementation, Ariba implementation first, like we have to basically conduct one workshop with our stakeholder and that business user, and we have to show them the complete demo. So whatever solutions they are going to basically implement, it depends on that solutions or depend on the scope. So we have to provide that like a demo to our customer. So for example, your customer they are going to implement Ariba SLP module, so whatever things we have to do in the Ariba SLP, like for example, we can say how to create supplier request, how to perform supplier registration, how to perform supplier qualification, what is preferred supplier. We have to first explain all this process to our customer, right? Because your customer is completely new, they are not much aware about the SAP Ariba. They are new for the SAP Ariba. So we have to first explain them the process of the Ariba, like how we have to do in the SAP Ariba. And based on that, our discussion, we have to collect their requirement as well. Like these are the processes are available in the SAP Ariba as a standard. Now tell me how you want in your process. So do you want to use as is process like how it is available as a standard Ariba, or do you want to do any customization, or whatever different field you want to add, or whatever different options or different tasks you want to perform. So that's something information we have to capture, and this process is called as a business like we can say a requirement design session, right? So we have to collect all the requirement from the customer, and based on that we have to start our designing session. So based on that we have to basically perform the configuration activity, based on the input of the customer. So that is why this course is also designed in same way. So first we have to understand about the business process. And once you understand, like once you understood the business process, like how it is working, and in that case, that configuration will become very easy for you. Why? Because at that point you are become very familiar with the system, and whatever config we'll discuss, you can easily understand it. Okay, now this is the thing that basically we have to configure here. So you can easily recall, oh, like that is why we were that we have to perform that activity during creation of the sourcing project, or during creation of the contract. So that's something you can easily correlate and you can easily understand. Okay, so this is the overall course curriculum. That's something we are going to discuss in coming session. So we'll start in the basically in the sequential way. So first we'll talk about like our Ariba supplier, then we'll talk about sourcing, then we'll talk about contract, and then in the last we'll talk about the Ariba bid. All right. Okay, I hope everyone can follow me. Am I clear to everyone?
Yeah, after sourcing contract, last one you told something. Somewhere I missed.
Ariba P2P.
P2P, okay. P2P and okay, catalog, okay.
Okay, so before going ahead, any question from anyone?
In the Rohit, this is Bharat here. The integration which you showed, you will show us on how to connect through SAP system only, is it? Backend SAP system.
Yes, yes. We'll talk about basically, that about backend SAP only, because in very rare cases you may see some non SAP system in the backend. So we'll talk about only that backend SAP system, but I'll not be able to show you that that process flow, like end-to-end process flow, because that's something that system is not available. But I'll give you that the configuration information, like whatever config we have to do in the backend SAP as part of the integration. So for example, let's say you have your customer, they have the Ariba sourcing module, and you have the backend SAP system. Yeah. Now the requirement is that you want to integrate Ariba sourcing module with the backend SAP system. So in that integration, whatever config we have to do in the Ariba side, whatever config we have to do in the CIG side, and whatever config we have to do in the SAP ERP side, that's
Okay, you will discuss on it, but you will not be able to show it because of the system. The system is not.
yes, yes, yes. So what basically see in the session, I'll try to give you like as possible whatever information I have. But if you go to the only one customer, so in with only one customer, you will not be able to see all the features, right? Because it depends on the customer requirement. So with some customer, you may see some of the features, some of the information, and with other customer, you may see some of the other features. So we'll not have like the entire setup to show you for this training part. So we have some system like constant here. I may not be able to show you in the system, but yes, at least I'll give you the information up to that so that you can easily work on the project, or even you can easily with the interview.
Oh, so this is a regular day session, correct?
I'm sorry, come again.
No, the session goes on daily, right? It's not by week.
No, no, weekdays, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, 9 to 10 p.m.
Right.
Okay, so let's start now. All right, so basically in the first we will talk about like our the supply solutions in the SAP Ariba. So basically as part of the supplier solutions, Ariba is basically offering the module that is called as a SLP module. And what is basically SLP module? So SLP stands for Supplier Lifecycle and the Performance Management. Okay. So what basically we can do with the help of the SLP module, or what customer can perform with the help of the SLP module. So with the help of the SLP module, customer can manage their vendors. So if you see from the customer point of view, so they are basically doing the different activities to manage the vendor. So as part of this, like the first activity, they have to basically perform the supplier onboarding, or we can say vendor onboarding. So what is basically supplier onboarding? So supplier onboarding means we can say like we have to basically create the supplier record in our database. So whatever database that your customer they are using, so they have to basically create the supplier information in the system. So that is called as the supplier, like creating the supplier record, or we can say managing the supplier onboarding. So in this basically, so in case of this SLP as well, we have the same options are available. So if you see the SLP process flow, so this process are divided in the, we have to perform the different process here in SLP. So as first we can see, we have to basically perform the create supplier request. So creating the supplier request is nothing, that means creating the supplier information, supplier record in the SAP Ariba. So we have the flexibility. We can basically create the supplier request first just to onboard the supplier. And then basically the supplier request will go for the approval. So approval is again depends on your like requirement. So generally in the real time, like if you see in the production system, so you will have some different approval process, or different tasks here to approve the supplier request basically. So whenever any business user, they will create supplier request, so that system will automatically send notification to the supervisor of that user, and they have to basically approve the supplier request. And once the supplier request will be approved, then system will create the supplier record in the SAP Ariba. And then basically in the next, we have to initiate supplier registration. We in the sense customer, or we can say buyer. So in the next, we have to initiate supplier registration, and then basically supplier has to perform the registration. So what is the meaning of this, like these two process, like supplier initiating the supplier registration, and then basically supplier will perform the registration. So why basically we have to perform this activity as part of the SLP process? So if you see our business activity, so basically the purchasing activity happening within two parties. So one party will be your buyer means your customer, and other parties will be the supplier, right? So we have to perform the purchasing activity between the buyer and the supplier. So, but where we are going to perform the purchasing activity? So as the buyer, basically as the buyer, we are basically acting as a buyer, or we can say in other words as a customer as well. So we have to basically purchase the particular product but from which party we have to purchase the product? So we have to basically purchase from the supplier, right? But on which platform we are going to purchase, or we are going to perform the purchasing activity? So basically in this case, we are going to perform the purchasing activity over the Ariba network. That means the solutions are the Ariba, but we are going to perform the activity over the Ariba network platform, right? So just for your understanding, let's assume Ariba network is nothing that is the LinkedIn platform. Just for your understanding, I'm giving this hypothetical example to you.
So which example link Ariba is a?
LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Okay. So what happens whenever we have to basically connect over the LinkedIn? So what we have to do, like let's say me and one more person, we both would like to connect over the LinkedIn. So what basically we have to do first? So I have to basically create my account on the LinkedIn, right? So just to make sure, like for my availability, I have to perform the registration over the LinkedIn. Then basically I will be available over the LinkedIn. Same way from other person as well, he also have to create his account on the LinkedIn so that he will be available over the LinkedIn, right? So once like we both will create our account over the LinkedIn, then we'll both will be available over the LinkedIn, and whatever activity we want to basically perform, then we can perform. So like we can do chatting, we can post some requirement or whatever. So whatever things basically we want to perform, we can basically perform. So same way in the SAP Ariba as well. So now here, so we have basically the platform that is called as the Ariba network, right? So what basically we have to do from buyer side? So buyer has to basically create their account on the Ariba network, and the same way supplier also they have to create their account on the Ariba network, right? But thing is that buyer basically, or we can say customer, they are not creating the account manually in the Ariba network. So how basically their account, or they will be available over like on their on the Ariba network. So whatever solutions you are basically talking here, these are the solutions for the buyer, right? So as a customer, they have to basically purchase any of the particular solutions. So whatever module or whatever package they want to basically purchase, there they can purchase. So the customer, whenever they will purchase any of the particular solutions, so Ariba company itself, they will provide the two credential to that customer. One credential will be of this solution, like whatever solution they purchase, and other credentials will be of the Ariba. So basically, Ariba company, they are creating their customer account on the Ariba network on behalf of the customer itself, and their account will automatically be available over the Ariba. Okay, but from supplier point of view, so supplier have the two options to create their account on the Ariba network. So one option is that the supplier can create their account by themselves. So this Ariba network basically is a free site, or even you can also, if you can do the Google, you will find out like supplier.ariba.com. So when you open the particular site, you will able to see the option to create the account or sign up option. And if you want to like sign up as a supplier, you can basically sign up on the Ariba network. So this is the one option to available to supplier. So if any of the supplier, if they want to create their account or they want to basically perform the registration over the Ariba network, they can basically do. So this is the one option that is available to the supplier. And second option is that like any of the customer, they can refer to the supplier. So let's say, for example, I'm the customer and I'm going to implement the SAP Ariba. So since we are going to perform that like purchasing activity over the Ariba network, that means migrating from the customer side will not only work until unless your supplier will not migrate it. So what I will do, so I will invite the supplier as well, and I will ask the supplier to create their account on the Ariba network so that we can start our business activity on the Ariba platform, right? So in the other option is that customer can basically, any of the customer, they can do referral, so they can send the invitation to supplier, and the supplier, they have to basically create their account on the Ariba. So same thing it is talking about in the SLP process as well. So here as well we can see initiate supplier registration. So in this step, as a customer, we have to send that invitation to supplier, And when the supplier, they will receive that like invitation, they have to perform the registration. How to do, that's something we'll see in the coming session in the system itself. And apart from that, we have to basically perform the supplier qualification, and we have to perform the preferred supplier. So in tomorrow's session, we'll see in the system like how basically we have to create a supply request and how basically we can perform the other subsequent process as part of the SAP service. All right. Any question?
Yeah.
Yep.
So one small clarification. So when SAP sells the license, they will sell either as a buyer or a supplier, correct? If we buy it as a buyer, we will have a buyer account and Ariba network, two different logins, correct?
Right, correct.
And if
So
supplier buys,
seller point of view, there is no such solutions are available. So whatever solutions Ariba is basically offering, they are offering for the buyer perspective. So from seller perspective, there is no such solutions are available. And yes, they have to pay some licensing cost. That is different thing. We'll talk in coming session. But whatever solutions we are talking as of now, these are the only buyer solutions.
Okay. So from that point of view, you told like buyer account, supplier account, and Ariba network will be there. So I was under the impression that like suppliers, n number of suppliers will be registered there themselves as a seller who will be selling paper, printer, like that. They will be registering on their own. I was under the impression, but as per you, like buyer will initiate a supplier request, then it goes through this process, correct?
No, I told the both option to you. They can do by their own. So I told you the first option, they can do manually itself. If they want to do by themselves, they can do. Or else customer can invite, customer can like send the invitation to them. Both the options are available.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any question from anyone? That's it for today. Any further question from anyone?
Sir, exactly. Still, I'm not getting the point. Like Ariba is working as a buyer solution. What does that mean, sir? Matlab, like sir, we are not performing procurement activity like sir as we had done in our industries. Like first we have to generate purchase requisition, then we compare the price list from the buyers which we had selected. You know, we can say vendors, sir, which we have selected. Then compare the price.
Buyer means basically customer, right? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
see customer, so we are basically customer, and we have to basically purchase any product from the supplier, right?
Yes, sir.
So whatever solutions we are talking here, so these solutions are mainly applicable for the customer. So we can take your like a scenario as well. So now let's say I want to purchase one laptop, and to purchase the laptop, what I will do, I have to create one purchase requisition, right?
Yes,
so to create the purchase requisition, what I will do as a customer, I have to take the license of the Ariba by invoice. Then I will able to create the purchase requisition. So whatever solutions are available here, we can see this. These are the solutions, right? Ariba network is a platform. Just forget about the supplier side. This is the platform. This is the solution. So these solutions are applicable only from the customer point. Like whenever we have to purchase any product. If you talk about from supplier point of view, so supplier, they are not basically purchasing, they are selling, right? Like once you place the order of the laptop, so you are going to pay the amount to supplier. Supplier is going to sell you the item, sell the laptop. So they are basically acting as a supplier, like seller. Clear? Not it. Okay,
Rohit, I understood all these things. Create supplier, supplier registration. What is this last supplier qualification and preferred supplier?
we'll discuss in coming session.
Oh, it will be covered. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thanks to join the session. We'll see you tomorrow at same time. Thank you. And please ping your email address. I think Gokul left the meeting. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you, guys.